What's going on, everybody? We are back with TFG's top 100 players for 2019, a projected list for next season. Quick announcement, I will be chopping all of this list 1 through 100 and putting it into a podcast episode. We just resumed the Fully Inflated Football podcast, available on all of your podcast platforms here on YouTube as well. So definitely go check that out, subscribe to it, leave a review, all that good stuff. Also hit the like button on this video. So let's get into it. Starting at number 30 with a player that did not make the list last year. I'll give the network an excuse. He was a rookie, but Quenton Nelson quickly emerged as that blue chip prospect that he was. Really boosted that Colts offensive line. I'd be pretty surprised if he got snubbed again next year. Then again, this list doesn't seem to give any respect to offensive linemen, which are one of the most valuable positions in the league. But regardless, I do see Quenton Nelson being one of the 30 best players in the NFL next year. Number 29, we've got a running back, and a damn good one at that. Christian McCafferey, probably the best receiving back in the NFL. Not too shabby between the tackles either, but really what he offers as a mismatch problem out of the backfield, truly unique. His quickness is top-notch, and really, we'll see what Cam Newton's arm looks like this year, but this second off season in a row, he's had shoulder surgery. His throwing mechanics are off. I'm not really convinced that Cam Newton's going to be some dominant vertical threat down the rest of his career. Again, we'll see how that plays out. But having a weapon like Christian McCafferey, who is certainly, you could make the argument, the best short game receiver in the NFL right now. Even if he is a running back, he will flex out as a slot, but certainly an asset to that team. Number 28, Travis Kelce, second Kelce on this list for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tight end, the best tight end in the NFL these days. He made the list, number 21 for NFL Network, so pretty similar here. Really does it all. He blocks, is a dominant run after catch threat, top 10 mismatch problem in the NFL. He is one of many reasons why that Chiefs offense is allowed to be so explosive. One of the most explosive offenses we've ever seen. And then we have another Chief here. Can really echo everything we said. He's a very different player, but Tyreek Hill at number 27. Fastest player in the NFL and the quickest player in the NFL. But, we've seen a lot of receivers with elite speed. Probably not the speed that Tyreek Hill has, but he has honed his craft. He's not some elite route runner. He's not some, elite catching traffic guy, but he has certainly made it a strength of his game. Paired with his athleticism, I think this season, at the end of the year, we really are comfortable saying Tyreek Hill is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Next, we've got another offensive lineman. We're showing the offensive line, the Hog Molly, some love on this list because it really is, behind quarterback, probably the hardest position to find, the thinnest position in the NFL, and can have the most positive impact on the game. I don't know why the players were not voting for them for that list, but it certainly shows the list's flaws. But Zack Martin of the Dallas Cowboys, pretty strong argument there with Quenton Nelson for the best guard in the NFL. Really neck and neck. Notre Dame, the offensive line that they have cranked out, it is ridiculous. They've got tackles and centers as well. You got like Ronnie Stanley for the Ravens, and Nick Martin, this guy's brother, he went to Notre Dame, right? And there's someone else I'm forgetting, Mike McGlinchey for the Niners. Like, they have some of the best linemen in the NFL. Martin is one of 3 elite offensive linemen for the Dallas Cowboys, and with Travis Frederick next to him again this year, I expect him to repeat as an elite player. Number 25, Chris Jones. A lot of Chiefs early on this list. He came in at 36. He is only going to continue to get better, and he's going to get a massive contract extension. He is in the final year of his contract, and he did out-pressure Geno Atkins, and I guess I am projecting him to finish as a better player than the aging Atkins. Both guys are in a tier of their own, behind Fletcher Cox and Aaron Donald, but ahead of really any other interior pass rusher in the NFL based on last season's pressure numbers. So Chris Jones cracking the top 25 here for next season. 24, this is the biggest snub on the entire list. I actually just tweeted out that I don't use this term very often, but I really think the NFL Network list I get that it's voted on by the players, but I really think it lost all credibility. Maybe it's just the process that they do. And the way they poll these players, they only ask for a top 20 list, so they're going to leave a guy like Terron Armstead maybe off that list. And you don't think of a lot of offensive linemen as top 20 players. So I think the list is just flawed in the way they execute it. But Terron Armstead was neck and neck with David Bakhtiari for the best tackle in the NFL. Tackle is, you could make an argument, behind edge rusher for the most important position in the NFL, and of course quarterback. To leave the second best left tackle in the NFL on a team that was dominant last season, that was protecting a veteran quarterback, who was also a mauler in the run game, in Terron Armstead off of that list was a joke, in my opinion. This dude is an elite player and deserves to be recognized as such. I don't care if he doesn't play running back. He is an incredibly valuable player. Number 23, Demarcus Lawrence. He came in at 45 on NFL Network's list. He is a truly elite edge rusher. He's a tier 2 guy. He's not Khalil Mack. He's not Von Miller. But he is there really in a unique tier of edge rushers of dominant power rush and speed rush. A borderline unblockable player. Was my vote for Defensive Player of the Year just 2 seasons ago. Next, we have Carson Wentz. Now, he did make the list at 96, and I would have been fine if they left him off because he was injured a lot of last season, was coming back from a late season ACL injury. Now, he has been paid a massive contract. There's people that think he's injury prone. I get it. He has been injured for the last 2 seasons, but this is kind of like the Keenan Allen thing, right? Just because you have a couple unfortunate injuries does not necessarily make you injury prone. The nature of his injuries are not injuries that scientifically would tell you will repeat themselves. Howie Roseman, one of the 3 smartest general managers in the NFL, probably the best general manager that is not a coach, leaving Bill Belichick out of the equation. He's not afraid of Carson Wentz staying healthy. He gave him all the money in the world. And if Howie Roseman is not afraid, I will not be afraid. And Carson Wentz, when healthy, is an MVP caliber quarterback, a guy that really was robbed an MVP a couple years ago after suffering an injury the last couple weeks of the season. He has elite weapons now. He still has an elite offensive line. The play calling is fantastic. The system there, the defense. Carson Wentz is my early season pick for NFL MVP next year. So putting him here at 22 might actually sound a little low. He is 19-1 to win the MVP, and I love that bet. Number 21, Joey Bosa. He actually made last season's list. He probably should not have. He missed most of the season, and when he came back was clearly not 100%. So can he get into that tier 2 elite? I like to tier things like this. Demarcus Lawrence was in that tier behind Von Miller and Khalil Mack, spoilers. But he really is a special pass rusher. Just needs to stay healthy, which is a concern for him. And then number 20, Odell Beckham. He came in at 23 on NFL Network's list. I'm pretty much in agreement there. He's going to have potentially, a fresh start to his career, and it's not like he needed it. He was already on pace, I think, to being the best receiver in the history of the NFL in terms of statistics, and now he has an actual quarterback to throw him the football. I just can't wait to watch him and Baker play this year. It's going to be a blast. Number 19, Alvin Kamara. So he's going to come in a few spots higher than Christian McCaffrey here, about 10 spots higher. Now, McCaffrey probably better in the receiving game. You're really splitting hairs. Both these guys are elite mismatch problems in the receiving game. Kamara, though, I just like his size and ability to push the pile, shrug off tackles a little better as a traditional 3-down running back. Again, not that McCaffrey's bad in those regards. I just prefer Kamara. He is a top 5 running back in the NFL and probably a top 10 mismatch problem in the NFL. Number 18, Russell Wilson. Now, again, this list is independent of positional value. If it was the most valuable players for next season, the top 14 players would probably be quarterbacks. But Russell Wilson, elite play extension, the most accurate downfield quarterback in the NFL, really fits what a lot of modern teams are doing with play action, the ability to go vertical. Now, he's not going to nickel and dime you to death, and I wouldn't even probably rank him as a top 10 pocket passing quarterback. He's not bad inside the pocket, but that's not his strength, and it never will be. but he still does other things at an elite level that really make him a problem. And then I do rank Andrew Luck. These guys are really tied since the draft, but their careers, both these guys have shown that they can play at an elite level. Andrew Luck, a little more in the traditional sense, going to nickel and dime you a little better. I've always said these guys are extremely close. It's a matter of preference. It's a matter of what your surrounding situation looks like. If you don't have an offensive line, give me Russell Wilson and his ability to elude pressure and extend plays and go vertical and create big plays. Andrew Luck, if you have a better surrounding core, he's probably going to play at a higher level than Russell Wilson just because he's more consistent inside the pocket. So number 16, Jamal Adams. He did come in at 37 on NFL Network's list. I think because the Jets really have struggled the last few years, people don't realize how good Jamal Adams is. And I've also said it's kind of useless to compare these more box safeties to guys like Earl Thomas, Kevin Byard. Jamal Adams plays a completely different position than those guys. He plays down in the box. He plays a lot of linebacker. He blitzes off the edge. He'll man up as a slot corner. He'll do a lot of things. Most of the time, though, he's not playing that traditional free safety because that's just not what he excels at. So he comes in at top 16. He's a guy that could really break out if the Jets could find a way to be a playoff team this year. Break out in terms of public perception. He's already a dominant impact player in the NFL. And then number 15, Derwin James, really the same player as Jamal Adams. They are incredibly similar. Now the Chargers won 12 games. Derwin was a younger player, I guess, a little more hype coming out of college maybe. Bigger production in terms of the interceptions. That's kind of what people look for at safety. But these guys, it's really neck and neck. Both guys are elite, strong safety types. Derwin perhaps a little more rangy if you did play him at free safety, but you're splitting hairs there. Both guys dominant safeties. And then number 14, so back-to-back Florida State defensive backs, Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in the NFL. His ability to press is unique, truly instinctive zone corner with outstanding ball skills, but he can man you up as well because he's just such a rare athlete. Really intrigued to see what happens with his contract situation as the true best corner in the NFL. Then number 13, David Bakhtiari. Again, the disrespect for offensive linemen in the NFL. He came in 43rd on NFL Network's list. He's a borderline top 10 player. I mean, the importance of the left tackle position and a guy that very rarely gets beat. I'm pretty sure he didn't give up a sack last season by PFF. A true technician, the best pass protecting lineman in the NFL, and he's growing as a run blocker. So in my opinion, to put the best tackle, left tackle, the most important position on the offensive line in the mid-40s was a sign that this list is very flawed. Number 12, Luke Kuechly. He actually came in at the 24 spot in NFL Network's list. Bobby Wagner's a special player, and he is going to end up being ranked ahead of Luke Kuechly here. But Kuechly's still a top 10 defensive player in the league. Should be a perennial vote for Defensive Player of the Year. Just his ability to be an instinctive run defender and get in the backfield and stop plays before they get started, paired with his identification of route concepts and his just rare athleticism as a linebacker, it's truly unique and terrifying to go against. And then the last guy here, Saquon Barkley, came in 16th, the best running back in the NFL. I've been saying it since week 2 of last season. It just the eye test. Yeah, he might have some vision problems. He might try to hit home runs when he should maybe, get 3 yards, but it's not that he can't run between the tackles at all. He clearly can. Adrian Peterson, that was always a flaw of him, is that he was a home run hitter. Well, he won an NFL MVP. He was the last running back to do it. So, Saquon Barkley, I still say it was a mistake to take him ahead of Sam Darnold, but he is still taking positional value aside of it right here close to the top 10. And really has potential to be the best running back to ever do it next to Barry Sanders. So that's going to do it. We will be back tomorrow with the top 10 list. And then on Thursday, I will publish the 1 through 100 podcast. So cheers, guys. Please do hit that like button, and we'll see you for the next one. Peace out.